dokie. So, hey y'all, this is Miss Stacy. Welcome to Stacy's Homestead. And right now I'm fixing some pants I have. I really like these pants. But you know, they're cheaply made and I got them at like Sam's Club a few years ago. And I wear them, you know, in the summer. But they keep on getting like, the seams keep on ripping open on them. Like around the pockets I sewed. And then around here I just sewed this right here. The other day it split. But the thing is I really like these, and why would you throw away a pair of pants if you can, I mean, if you can sew them and no one even tell the difference. They're nice and flowy. I noticed that in the butt area it seemed to be thinning out a little. Because you know, when you got booty, things tend to thin out in that area. And I want to reinforce it before it gets, if I can find it now, but I want to reinforce it. Oh, here it is. Before it gets to the point where it's so it's right here. I don't know if you could, let me see if I can make it focus. It's right here. So the threading is starting to split a bit. So I want to reinforce this part, see, before the threading comes out. And then it'll be like new again. So I'm not one to throw away a good pair of pants if you can darn them, you know what I mean? So what you do is you turn it inside out. So there's some people who just don't know how to sew, and that's okay. We're going to turn it inside out and get that ready. You always sew inside out. And then I have a sewing machine, but I gotta service it because it's not, the thread keeps on breaking and I don't know why. Let me figure out where I start. I'm gonna start, okay, let me bring you down here. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna thread the needle, and I already did that. And so you take one piece of thread and you thread it through, and then you make two equal ends, and you put the two equal ends together. I don't know if you can see, it's black thread. Let me move this. So it's black thread, but you put the two equals ends together. And I can't see nothing. So once you get them together, you want to like tie them in a way. And a quick way to tie, which I taught my kids this a long time ago how to sew, but you pinch them together. Quick way to tie is you pinch them together and you wrap it 1, 2, 3 times. Okay, make sure your needle's straight. So you wrapped it 3 times, and then you just roll it off your finger and then grab it and pull, and now you have a nice little knot. So that's how I do my knots. And I only need about this much thread, so, and I can always get more if I need it. So we're gonna start on this, make sure it's inside out like I said. And if you have thinning spots, try to reinforce those as well. So we're gonna, yeah, I have some thinning spots first. I want to reinforce that. So how I do that is before I sew it together, we're just going to add some thread. Just lay it flat and add some thread in that thinning area so we can grab it. So we're just going to do a little weave. So we're just gonna weave it in and out, okay? I'm gonna use this. Usually a rounded piece of wood or a light bulb or a potato will work, but we're just gonna hold it flat right here on it, okay? So I can go in and out, okay? We're gonna go, because we're not sewing anything together, we're just reinforcing this thinned out spot. And this is exactly how you darn socks. When you get a little hole, you want to fill in the space. We're just adding more thread. So we're going in and out. Just doing a weave, in and out. And in and out. As close as you can to where it's sewn, where it's showing some thinning. In, out. And then that way, when you sew it, reinforce the seam, it has something better to grab onto than just the thread that's thinning, you know? Then you just go back the other direction, closer to where it's sewn. In, out, in, up, down, up, down, up, down. I need my thimble. I'm just trying to, I always do it without all my tools. Alright, there we go. And let's go ahead and check the other side real fast and see. Yeah, that's way better. Oh, and then I got another thin spot down here, but where we did it, it's right here. The weave, we did it right here, and it's way better. So let's, I think, yeah, there's another thin spot right down here. So we're gonna bring it down that way. This fabric seems to be pretty delicate and cheap, you know, but if you know how to fix it, these seams seem to be thinning out. So let's just go back down. Let's just go in and out all the way down. I think, so now that I have that part done, let's go on this side, and I don't want to sew the seam together yet. I'm just going to go on the other side and go in and out on the other side. So see that seam, the flap, I don't want to sew that together yet. So now we're going to go on this side of it, fold it over, go up, so up, down, in and out, as straight as you can, just to help reinforce that fabric so it doesn't have a pull, and make it thin and make a hole. Sometimes it's not the thread that comes apart, it's actually the fabric itself, because where it's sewn together, it's just pulling, you're pulling so much. So, and the fabric will fray. Let's see, are we to the part that needs to be reinforced? I can't tell on this side. Yeah, I think I'm to it because it's starting to get a little. So this one, and try to use the color as close, you know, as you can to matching it. Like I'm using black. So I think I'm close to this one. Alright, so I'm gonna go back the opposite direction. Now this time closer to the thread. Just go up and down, up and down, up and down. Up and down. Try to get the spots that you didn't get on the way that way. And don't pull, we don't want to bunch up either. Just need it to lay flat. And then go up and ducks are night owls. Do you hear those ducks? It's like 11 o'clock at night right now. Yeah, so I'm left-handed. I'm trying to get you guys an angle on how to see what I'm doing. So now I'm just trying to go as close as I can to the existing threads. Alright, so we're running out. So we're gonna go back and make a loop to tie this one off. We're gonna do it as close as we can. Then we're gonna go and then go try to make keep that hole open and then just go back through the rabbit hole. So make a little bunny hole and the bunny just goes right back through that hole. If it's tight, just find that hole again. There we go. Alright, and then I like to go back one more time. And then I'll go get more thread. Alright, let's get our thread. Pull off about 3 feet of it so it's manageable. And because we're folding it in half, remember. I take it and bite it off with my teeth. And then let's get it a little wet. So you take it and bite it off with your teeth. Get a little wet between your whistle there. And let's try to see if we can get it in the hole. And keep on, you gotta make it wet between your whistle, your lips, meaning. So it stands straight and it can get in that hole. There we go, got it. I have a threader. Let's try to center this. Sometimes it'll get knotted, so you gotta be careful when you center your needle here. It'll twist. So let's get the needle centered and then we'll tie the 2 ends together. Alright, so we got our 2 ends right here. Our 2 ends are right here. Okay, pinch them together, make them even, pinch them together. Now, grab it, and we're gonna loop it 1, 2, and then almost 3, and then you're gonna roll it off your fingers, pinch it, and then pull. And there's a knot. Alright, and some people don't have to, I mean, once you get good at this, sometimes I just don't even knot it. I just go ahead and start sewing, and then it just won't come out because of the way I sew. But showing you all how to do a little knot. Alright, so let's see where we left off. So we're on to a new part. So we're going outside the seam. We're going outside the seam a little bit so we can reinforce the fabric. And then when we go back the opposite direction, we'll go more on the seam. In and out, in and out. Doesn't matter how big. Just try not to have it too far apart. I'm using a pestle for my mortar and pestle, but you can use a baseball bat. You can use anything, a carrot stick, I guess, taters. But I I like to use a mortar and pestle or a wooden rod if you have a wooden rod. Anything that will let you lay the fabric flat on it for darning. So we're darning the whole, or the thin fabric here. And don't worry if you get away from your line, you can go back and it's not going to be noticeable as long as you have the same, about the same color fabric. Alright, so I think we did that. Now let's go back the opposite direction. Now this time, closer to the seam. If not almost right on the seam. Okay? Go almost right on the seam, where it's doubled up on that fabric there. Go up and down. So if you have a hole in any shirt or socks, you just reinforce the hole by creating new thread, like a new weave. So it's usually the pockets for me, the areas on these cheap pants that I have to do this, and the butt. Alright, so now that we are done, we're all done. Let's check the other side out. Yeah, it looks pretty decent here. I got it nice and reinforced. Alright, so now we're gonna pinch it. We don't need this anymore, we're done. Darning, it's like basically almost a hole when it starts thinning out like that. So, alright, so now we're done with that, and now we're gonna take our little mohawk, straighten it out here. Alright, we don't want it tight. Make sure it's not tight. Alright. Now we're just gonna take the two pieces like we're sewing something together now and go in and out closest to where you darned. So let's go in and out, and we're just now we're doing in and out like we're sewing two pieces together. So in and out, just it only lets me do it one time. Now it's thicker because it's both fabrics are going through. In and out, in and out. You're going in and out two fabrics now, right on the seam and where exactly you darned, where you put that reinforced thread in. We don't want to make it go. That's the previous knot. We don't want to make it too tight. Make sure it's loosey-goosey. And we're just taking in and out, right exactly where you could feel with your hands where you reinforced on both sides, because it's a little bit stronger seam there. That way you're reinforcing the thread that you laid down and pulling on that instead of the part that was frayed. Because if you did it on the part that was frayed, it would just fray more. There, in and out, and then pull. Nice little weave going on. So and this is, everyone has their problem areas in their clothes. This is my problem area. And then when you wash your clothes, they'll relax some too after you wash it. Alright. Then if you want, you can start going back the other direction. Alright, now let's go back the other direction. This time closer, like right on top of where you sewed the first time. Same area. Alright, let's cut it with our teeth. I don't have scissors. Alright, got it cut with the teeth. Alright, all done. Reinforcing that. Now let's turn it inside out and see if I have bumps and stuff, which sometimes I end up doing, but that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the butt area right here that we did. It's way better than it was. It was pulling apart. It looks good. It looks good. And when I wear them, they're like really loose. So, and when I pull it sideways, I don't see any fraying anymore. So that's how you do it. That's how you do it. See? The back side, let's see. So see, that's the back side where we did it. And it was like fraying apart, and now it's not. And it's perfectly fine to wear. So, perfect. Now I don't have to worry about that. Alright, so that's how you darn holes in clothing. And you do the same thing with all holes. You just make a weave pattern. And then if you're in, over and over and over again till the hole's filled. And then for pants, like you just seen me do, you just, if you have frays, do the weave, darn it like it's a hole, and then reinforce the seam together like you're sewing it, So, you just go in and out, in and out. Alrighty, y'all, so that's how you do that. And that's how you save yourself some money. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.